Today we're taking a step in a different direction, something that I haven't taken a look at in a very long time, 3D printing. And I know a lot of you guys have been asking about 3D printing for quite a little while. No, I'm not going to be using my 3D printer today, although this might inspire me to get back into doing 3D printing. It's been a little while. Today we're going to be taking a look at a 3D printing pen. This is the SleekPen 3D printing pen, and we're not only going to be taking a look at this SleekPen, I'm also going to be giving one away. That's right, the company that sent this one out also sent a second one out, along with an extra bag of filament. So if you'd like to get your hands on a 3D printing pen, maybe have a nice little way to touch up your 3D prints, or just do some doodling if you will, I'll put a link to the giveaway entry form down below. Basically all you're gonna have to do is just subscribe to my channel. Very minimal stuff, but let's get started. So taking a look at the box here, you can see the pen on the front and some things they're proposing you can do with it. Over here on the side, it mentions some of the features. It has an OLED display. It's compatible with power bank, so you can technically run it off of a USB battery pack. Adjustable temperature range from 130 to 230 Celsius, and stepless speed controls. And of course, a list of the things that are included, but let's just open it up and look. So inside of the box, user manual, which shows the whole layout of the pen and all the package contents, some troubleshooting stuff and how to use it, and warnings. Warnings being it's gonna be real hot. You get a few things of filament included here in the package. A mini screwdriver, the power cable, it's USB to a little barrel connector, and a USB wall wart. So this is presumably how you would use this with a battery bank. Just plug that into the battery bank instead of plugging it into the wall. And then last but not least is the pen itself. And just taking a quick look at it, I'll look at the diagram and read to you what it says. Here is the filament loading hole and the DC power socket. Kind of strange that they're right next to each other. That might become an issue, but who knows? Especially given that it's kind of close, if you can see that. Here's the OLED screen, as well as the temperature controls, minus and plus. Over on this side, we have the speed controller, and it is, like they said, stepless, so you just slide it back and forth. There's no clicking. And then on this side, there are two buttons, unload filament and load filament, and then the nozzle at the end, the hot end as it were. And basically that's all there is to it. It's a pen that you're going to put plastic filament into one end. The filament they included is actually ABS, which means it will work with ABS and presumably PLA and possibly some other types. Here in the user manual it does say ABS is 210 Celsius, PLA is 175, and those are the materials it does support, so it may not work with other things like nylon. And it looks like there's a little notch here in the back where you can open it up. Presumably that's if the filament gets jammed, you can open it up using the screwdriver and fix it. Just open it up and take a look. Well, the screwdriver's not terribly strong and immediately bent, so let me get a real screwdriver. And there you go. You can see sort of the components in here. You've got this plastic tubing where the filament is going to feed through. There's a little set of gears in here that will work with the loading and unloading as well as the speed control here. You can see this is moving the speed control. So if you find that interesting, cool stuff, but then you just click it all back together. And at this point, we ought to be able to plug it in, load some filament into it, and get started printing something. I went ahead and grabbed a little sheet of white paper so I can do it on that pretty easily, hopefully without damaging my table. And I did forget to mention, this is available over on Amazon. It says the list price is $70, but currently it's $37.57. And taking a look at the price history, it's kind of hovered around that $40 mark. I think I will start out with this yellow filament. And it says to use it, basically you're gonna end up plugging it in, which is what I'm doing right now. Oh, you can see the OLED screen there lighting up. It says welcome ABS target 210. Then it says to click the load filament button to start heating the pen. And you can see right there, it is increasing the temperature now. It's slowly heating. Actually, it's very quickly heating up. And you know, for the size of the screen, I mean, you can see how small it is compared to my finger. That's a really high quality text. But it says to wait for it to reach the target temperature before you start loading the filament. Then gently insert one of the strands of 1.75 millimeter filament into the filament loading hole back here until it's fully loaded and starts to extrude from the nozzle. To avoid being burnt, do not touch the nozzle while you're drawing. And I'm actually starting to smell it heating up now. And it looks like it did reach 210 and it's hovering right around that. Boy, that has a strong smell to it. And I know putting ABS inside of this, it's only gonna start to smell even more. Have to do this before the wife gets home. And just gonna go ahead and say this, if you're gonna be working with plastics like this, probably best to be doing it in a well-ventilated area, maybe a garage or a workshop. I'm doing it in my office because I'm in my office. That's where my camera is. Let's go ahead and we'll start loading this in. And it says you have to hold the button. Oh, I felt the heat off of that. It says you do have to hold the button for it to start extruding it in. Maybe you can hear that. I'm just clicking and holding the button until it starts to extrude. And it says double click the load filament button to start auto loading it. That's even better. I didn't have to hold it. Then click it once more to end automatic. As you can probably see there, it did start coming out, and actually there's little fumes that are starting to come up, so just pull that off. It cools very quickly. And it does say inside the guide to switch from ABS to PLA. Just push the temperature plus and the unload filament buttons at the same time, and that should switch it. I'm not going to do that right now. Control the speed by sliding the speed controller. Oh, there it's working. Apparently you have to hold the load filament button or double click on it. And of course, I don't have the right camera angle for all this, but there is one of the very quick things I just did. It's kind of a weird backward lasso. Hopefully you can see it there. Like I said, I've not actually used a 3D printing pen before, so this is completely new to me. But to use it, yeah, you just slide the speed controller here as to how fast or slow you want it to go. So I'll put it to right in the middle and just double tap the button for auto mode. I can see this as being really useful for patching up torn up prints, anything that didn't go quite right. If you wanted to just very quickly, you know, touch up something that went wrong. Although again, I'm completely new to this, so I am doing things really weirdly. And they just kind of pull off when you're done with it. That's neat. And it does kind of work like a pen in that respect. And now that I'm done printing, I think I just hold the unload button. And once I've held it for a little while, it should unload entirely. And that was actually pretty quick and painless. I mean, the learning process is super fast, especially if you keep this little guide on hand. Now, my experience with 3D printing is still a little bit limited. I've only ever used my micro M3D printer, and I will say it, I do have another 3D pen I'm going to be taking a look at that I purchased myself, but I will put a link to this one down in the video description if you want to check it out. Having the OLED display on it is definitely really nice. Being able to use PLA or ABS with it is also, it's equally nice. And it uses the exact same types of filament that I use with my 3D printer, so I should seamlessly be able to use the same filament I use to print things on my printer as I use with this, and to be able to make repairs and whatnot to the things I print on it. So maybe this will inspire me to get back into 3D printing things. This is very cool. But that's going to wrap this video up for today. If you'd like to know more about it, or like I said, if you'd like to win one of your very own, I'll ship it out to you. I am going to make this available only in the US, so I apologize profusely for that in advance, but shipping costs are just not friendly for outside the US. So sorry about that. But thank you guys as always for watching. Thanks so much to the people at SleekPen for sending this out for me to take a look at, and for sending one out for one of you guys to get. Hit the thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe to the channel to receive more, and to enter to win the giveaway. Remember that down below, and I will see you again next time.